My spaghetti squash mukbang got 1,000,000 views, and I'm gonna show y'all how I made it. Continue watching.
All right, let's finally get into it. First things first, you need a squash, obviously, and you need a knife to cut your squash. But let me tell y'all, I don't know why it's so hard to cut damn squash. I was struggling. That's me showing y'all I was getting halfway there. And then, look, I'm struggling. And then as me showing y'all that I did one side, now I'll move on to the other side. And whew, I was so tired. That's a workout, baby. When you're done, that is what your squash should look like. And I was smelling it, and I was just saying it smells just like a pumpkin because it do. Now you get the biggest spoon you got and start gutting out your squash, making sure everything's out of there. And look, my intrusive thoughts. Harsh. After you gut everything out of the squash, you take a pan or whatever you want and put your squash on there, and then you take some oil, pour the oil inside the squash. And I accidentally poured too much, but it's okay. Look at my face. It's okay though, because I poured it in the other squash. And then you take some salt and some pepper, season your squash, and I think I did slap your mama too. Yeah. And you just massage it into the squash, making sure you got everything on there. And then when you're done, you put it in the oven for 50 minutes. Oh, and I forgot to say, preheat your oven right before you start gutting your squash so your oven can be hot and ready when you're done. But okay, moving on to the meat. I use turkey meat. You can use whatever meat you want. And I seasoned it with onion powder, garlic powder, slap your mama, paprika, and pepper. And of course, you give that a good mix, making sure all that flavor is in that meat. So then when you're done, you drain your meat, of course, and we move on to the sauce. So I use minced garlic, and then I put in tomatoes. I chopped up the tomatoes, but you can use like grape tomatoes. And then I added spinach. As you can see, I'm pulling the spinach apart because it was pretty big. But then you just mix everything all together. And then now this is the key factor. The cheese is called Boursin cheese. It's so freaking good. It's even good by itself, like with crackers. It's just chef's kiss. So you just put that in there, let it melt, and then add heavy whipping cream to it. And then season the sauce with all the seasonings that you had used. The only seasoning that I did add in differently was the red pepper flakes, as you can see right now. But yeah, you just start mixing the sauce together, making sure everything comes together. Just give it a good old stir. And by now your cheese will start to become soft, so you just start chopping it down into pieces and then stirring that into the sauce. Now 50 minutes would be up and your squash will be done. And look, the smoke hit me. It hit me. But I'm showing y'all how it looks after being in the oven. Oh, and I added mozzarella cheese in the sauce, and I just gave that a good stir. And then I tasted it, and baby, it's just so good. It tasted just like before. So good. Now go get your meat, put it in that sauce, give it a good stir, and then your sauce is pretty much done. So you just pour everything. Well, yeah, that's me showing y'all. And then I'm showing y'all the squash. Wait, don't pour nothing yet. How could I forget? You gotta get a fork and fluff out your spaghetti like noodles. And it was hot. I was like, ow. But yeah, it comes out pretty easy. You're just pulling the noodles out of the squash. And look, I accidentally dropped it. But that is the finished results. Your noodles are out. Then now you pour your sauce with the meat in your spaghetti squash, in your squash, and that's the finished product. So freaking good. 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend. Go make it yourself and tell me how you like it.